basically a market analysis method that's really easy to use, and it works every time. And there's 3 steps to it. The first step is to find out what is selling well online, so you know where the money is. So that's one of the easiest ways to make money online, is just to go where the money is already being made, and then just kind of wiggle your way in there. It's harder to invent a niche. Then research search volume. This tells you how big a market is. The bigger the so search volume is how many people are searching for this kind of thing each month. So you want the more search volume, the better. So lots of money in the market, really high search volume, meaning lots of people are searching for it, so there's high demand. And then you want to research search engine competition. You want this to be as low as possible. Different markets have different levels of competition in the search engines. Beta fish, that market has a very low search engine competition, so it's very easy to get ranked highly if you know just the basics of SEO. Weight loss, that's a really competitive market. You can go in and you can do this, put the same amount of effort in that I put into getting my beta fish site #1 in Google, and put that same amount of effort into weight loss, and you're not going to see any results. So market competition is search engine competition is really important, and you want the lower the better. And I'm going to so I'm going to show you how to do these 3 things. Ultimately, you want to find markets that have lots of buyers but not a lot of competition. Pretty simple. Fortunately for us, there's a lot of markets out there that meet this criteria. So let's go through step 1. Step 1 is to find out what's already selling. Now, I have 7 main places I go to find potential markets. I'm going to talk about one of them tonight, and that's ClickBank. We don't have time to cover all 7, but one of my favorites is clickbank.com. Now, one thing to keep in mind, we're going to go over to ClickBank in a second. We're actually going to choose a market right tonight on this webinar that is a great market. But a quick note here, when I'm doing my market research, I'm always doing it with the consideration in the back of my mind that I might one day want to take my website beyond affiliate marketing at some point and sell my own information product through the site. So what I recommend, what I'm saying here is, when you first build your site, don't worry about selling your own product. Don't worry about creating your own product. I would sell someone else's product first and make money as an affiliate first. It's much easier that way because you don't have to create your own product. But later on, you might want to create your own product. Like with Beta Fish Center, I sold somebody else's ebook on Beta Fish first for a long time. And then I decided, well, if I get my own ebook created, then I'm going to be doubling my profits because I'm going to keep all the revenue. I'm not going to have to split it anymore. So it's just something to keep in the back of your mind as you're going forward. You can stay an affiliate forever. You don't ever have to create your own products, but it's something to think about. So most people on the call probably know what ClickBank is, but in case you don't, it's basically a marketplace that brings information product creators, vendors, together with information product sellers, which are affiliates, and affiliates earn a commission for selling products that vendors create. So ClickBank's just a big broker. I already talked about that, so I'm going to skip that. The great thing about ClickBank is that they list a wide variety, very wide variety of information products in their marketplace where potential affiliates can see how well these products are performing. So in other words, ClickBank literally will tell us in no uncertain terms which markets are hot and which markets are not. So it's really nice. So I'll show you how they do this. If you go over to ClickBank, and we're just going to do it through screenshots. It's much easier, but these screenshots are up to date. So if you go over to ClickBank and you click on Marketplace, you'll go into their Marketplace, and then look down the left under their Categories menu, and we're going to go into Home and Garden here, the Home and Garden category. And this is just for example purposes. So we go into Home and Garden, and then you'll start to see the products listed on the right. So let's zoom into that second product there, which is this one, My Shed Plans. Now, My Shed Plans, if you were to click this red link right there, you'd be taken to the My Shed Plans website. And you can go there now if you want. It's myshedplans.com, and it's just a one-page sales letter selling an ebook about shed plans. That's it. Now, the person selling this ebook is killing it. And here's how you find that out. Over here, you want to look at gravity. Each product you can see has gravity listed next to it. What gravity tells you is how many copies of the book are being sold. So what this means, so what happened, this My Shed Plans, so whoever created this book, they listed it in ClickBank, and then affiliates come by, and affiliates are people looking for stuff to promote, and affiliates see this book, and they start promoting it. So gravity is telling you, what gravity means is how many affiliates are having success selling the book. So what gravity here means is a gravity of 80. This basically means that at least 80 different affiliates have sold at least one copy of the book in the last week or so. So if you just simplify that, it basically means that at least 80 copies of the book have been sold in the last week or so. Week, 5 to 8 days. So, but many affiliates will have sold more than one copy. So 80 is the minimum that have been sold. Probably a lot more have been sold. In fact, I would guarantee a lot more have been sold because this person is going to have some super affiliates promoting them. So, but even if it's just the minimum of 80, you can then start to do calculations from there. You can then multiply 80 by how much the product price is. To find out the product price, you can go over to the site itself and go to their checkout page and just look at the product price. It's probably around 40. I'm actually not sure what it is, but I think it's around $40 or thereabouts. So if you multiply 80 by, I think it's 45 maybe, 80 by 45, you can start to see how much money this person's making on a weekly basis. And they're making thousands of dollars per week and over $10,000 per month from this one ebook in revenue. So that tells you right there that there's good money in this market. 80 is a really high gravity on ClickBank. You need to have like a basis of comparison. So when you go to ClickBank, you'll start to see what is a low gravity, what's a high gravity. 80 is very, very high. And when you do these basic calculations, you can see, well, from this one ebook, this person's making at least 5 figures a month. There's a lot of money in the market. So going forward now, what I want to do is show you how to find hundreds of hot markets at the literal click of a button. So what you can do is go back to the marketplace, and again, you click there, and you'll be taken in here. And now go to Advanced Search, which is right there. Just click this little Advanced Search link, and you can then screen for these kinds of markets. So now you'll see that I set results per page to 50. Gravity is higher than 6. 6 is kind of the magic number. You want to look for products that have gravity higher than 6. And the reason why I've just found, having done this for a long time, that lower than 6, lower than 7 is you're getting into markets that don't have really enough money in them that are really going to be worth your while. You want to focus on markets that are 7 or higher. So the higher the gravity, the easier it's going to be to make money, the more money there is. So now you can click search, and from there you can see that it pulls back all the results. So this has pulled back 1,022 products. And out of those 1,022 products, there's literally going to be hundreds of markets to choose from. Dieting, across lots of different niches that you can't even think of right now. So literally hundreds. And this says 1,022 hot markets to choose from. I need to update that. It's 1,022 hot products, but within that there's going to be hundreds of markets. So you can take those markets and just put them into a spreadsheet and just kind of set it aside. And now what you want to do, the next step, and this is all, again, towards finding the best markets. So now what you want to do is take your list of markets and look for search volume. And out of that list that you have, you want to find which markets get over 100,000 searches per month for the top 10 keywords. Again, that's the threshold, that's the benchmark we use, so that we're finding markets that are big enough. Okay, so this is going to leave you with an even smaller list. So you're finding the biggest markets you can out of the money markets. So we've pulled all the money markets out of ClickBank. Now, which of those are the biggest? So now you can do this by using the free Google keyword tool. If you go over to the free Google keyword tool, you can get there by just typing keyword tool into Google, and it's the first result. And we'll stick with our shed plans here, and then we'll click search. right there. And when we do that, we'll come up with a list of results. And you can sort by global monthly searches, sort descending by just clicking this tab. And you can easily see that the top 10 keywords in the market, there's definitely over 100,000 searches per month when you add them all up. So definitely there's plenty of search volume in this market. So the market meets our criteria. And you would want to do that for all the markets in your spreadsheet. And then you'll weed out a lot of the ones that are less than 100,000. They're just too small. You're not going to get enough traffic in those markets. Now you want to move on to step 3, which is researching search engine competition. So you started out with maybe a couple hundred markets. Now maybe you're down to 50. Now you want to find which of those 50, those are the big markets with money in them now, which ones are really non-competitive. Where's the real gold here, where I'm going to be able to just build a site, get it ranked, see some income coming in quickly. So to do this, you want to look at a search engine metric called PageRank. And you want to look at the page rank of the top 3 most highly searched for terms in your market. So this is a method that we devised for assessing search engine competition. It's a really good way to see how hard it's going to be for you to get ranked number 1 in Google in your market for various keywords. So what we'll do is we'll take the top 3 keywords. Here's shed plans, free shed plans, and storage shed plans. And I just took out shed plans and shed plans free because that's a duplicate. That's just a variation of this one. So I'm going to look at those 3. And now if we open up Google and we'll type in our first keyword. Now to do this, you need a plugin called SEOquake. So you can go over to SEOquake.com and just install this free plugin into Firefox. You just need to click install, and it'll just install in a couple seconds. And actually, this is a new computer I'm on tonight, so I should probably install it right now. So I'm going to do that. Install now, and you can see it's installing. And it looks like I'm going to have to restart Firefox. So there we go. And it's all set up. Okay, so to activate SEOquake, you can see how fast that was. You just need to, you'll see a little icon down here. Just click it. You'll see if I click it and it's turned off, it's gray. Click it again, a couple different colors, and it's on. So now I can go over to Google and type in my first keyword, which was shed plans. And you might have to refresh the page. And when you do that, SEOquake's going to pull back bunch of info. You can see underneath each listing, it's pulling back all these different search engine metrics. And what we want to look at is PR. Let's scroll down. So this is the first result here, shedplansreview.com. And the PR of this page is a 1. The PR of wood shed plans is a 0. The next one is a PR2, PR1, PR7. This one I hadn't really seen before. This one's kind of crept up. This is a PR2, PR0, 0, and 2. So what you do is you add up these page ranks of the top 10 results and then take the average. So what that's doing is it's telling you how competitive is it going to be? How hard is it going to be for me to get into the top 10? And you do this for the top 3 most highly searched for terms in your market because those terms are the most popular. They're going to give you a very broad, a very accurate overall score for your market if you take those 3 terms. You can do it with more than 3, but 3 is just how we do it. So, and the reason this is used, PageRank is Google's score of a page. PageRank ranges from 1 to 10. Google actually is the ones who assign that score, and the lower the PageRank, basically Google's saying, well, the less relevant this page is. The higher the page rank, Google's saying, the more relevant this page is. So we're just going off what Google's giving us, which is the best way to do it, really, since we're trying to get ranked in Google. So you want to repeat that now with free shed plans and storage shed plans. And I did this earlier, of course, and came back with Shed plans had about an average PR of 2, free shed plans had about an average of 1, and storage about an average of 2. For an overall average, I'm going to take the average of these 3 now, and that'll pull back a 1.6. And now you can take this 1.6 and plug it into the competition scale, which is another thing that we use in our business to tell us what's going on. So competition scale, basically, I will look for markets that have a average PR2 or lower. Now sometimes I'll venture into an average PR3 market, but never the 4s or 5s. So PR0, if you get an average PR0, your overall score, it means the market is just wide open. It's a sitting duck. Rankings are going to come very quickly, within days sometimes, of just doing some basic SEO. PR1, easy. PR2 is somewhat easy. You're going to see rankings within a week or two with some basic SEO. It's a little more competitive. And then PR3s, so this is the sweet spot. And as you can see, shed plans falls in this category right here. PR3s, sometimes I'll go into PR3 if there's like a lot of search volume, if it's a really big market, and there's a lot of money in it, I'll go into it, but I'll go into it knowing that the competition's moderate, and it's going to take me a little longer to see rankings. But that's how the competition scale works. So that's it. Now, if you look at your overall score, if you look at your overall score for shed plans, again, we have the gravity of 80, which is really high in ClickBank. Over 276,000 search volume for the top 10 keywords, 1.6 average page rank. This is just a great market. Lots of money in the market, lots of people looking for stuff in the market, and the competition is super low. So it's just a great market. So there you have it, an effective and scientifically sound method for finding the best markets the internet has to offer. Now the reason this step 1, is so important is because if you go into a market that, if it is too small, or there's too much competition, or there's the competition's really low and the search volume is really high, but there's no money in the market, so you have to have all 3 factors. And when you do, and you base it on numbers like this instead of like hunches, like I think this is a good market, when you base it on numbers, it's a lot more reliable. And then if you use this filter, and let's see, the filter hunches change, but this never changes. So you go through it, and you basically can then go into the market with full confidence because the numbers are going to tell the truth. And that's a big difference. Like if you're going into something and you just don't have no clue how it's going to turn out, that's different than knowing how it is going to turn out, right? And if you go into the market that you know is good, then you know that you're on the right track. So step 2 now is to find hot keywords. Now, the reason for this step, for finding keywords, is because now you want to find the keywords that you're going to write your articles about. So earlier, I showed you betafishcenter.com, and I showed you that it has rankings for various articles. Well, we didn't just randomly choose a bunch of topics to write articles on. We chose very specific keywords that have a very specific criteria, and then we wrote articles about those. And it gives the illusion to the visitor that there's sort of some rhyme and reason, but really these are just random articles on random beta fish related topics. And it's because of the keywords. You want to choose keywords that have certain criteria. So I already mentioned that all the traffic flowing to the site is free, and 99% of it comes from the search engines. Again, so I just showed you this comes from choosing the right keywords. And when you choose the right keywords, you can get rankings very, very easily. So this system I'm going to show you, it works really well, and it's the exact same one that I've used to do really well. So you can set up a targeted flow of traffic to any website you own using this method. It's custom tailor-made for the system I'm showing you, but it can be used to get traffic to any site. Okay, so the secret is keywords. So again, your success or lack thereof in getting traffic to your sites from the search engines depends on the keywords you choose. If you've ever done SEO before, tried to get traffic to your site through the search engines, didn't have success, it's probably because if you were doing everything else right, it was probably because of your keywords. So most people, including I, used to choose the wrong keywords, and it just everything else just goes downhill when you do that. So there's really two common keyword research methods, and as I'm kind of going through these, just ask yourself, do I fall into one of these categories? Have I fallen into one of these traps? And then we'll talk about what's the right way to do it. So one method is targeting just the highest search volume keywords. You get a list of keywords and you go after the ones that get the most traffic. Or the other method is targeting long tail keywords, going after the keywords that get the least traffic, and they're very specific. So they're very non-competitive because nobody's targeting them because they don't get very much traffic. Well, there's problems with both methods. The problems with targeting the high search volume keywords is that, number one, it often is going to take forever to get ranked for these keywords because they're going to be really competitive. Everybody's going for the high search volume ones, including people with probably a lot more SEO firepower than you have. So there's a lot of competition. And what this means is that there's no automation. Even if you do get ranked eventually after really trying for a long time, well, there's always going to be someone coming up behind you trying to take your spot. So there's no peace of mind there. With targeting long tail keywords, you can get decent traffic this way, but these keywords, they get very little search volume. So you have to target a lot of them to get any decent flow of traffic to your site, and that means a lot of content creation, which can get very expensive because to get ranked for a keyword, to get a page ranked, you need content on that page. That's search engine food. So the superior method is looking at your keywords a little more closely. And again, when you do this, if you already have a site, wherever you're at, just do this. I guarantee this will work for you. You will see multiple top 10 search engine rankings within weeks or even days. It doesn't take much effort to get those rankings, and your rankings stick for years. All of this results in long-term automated traffic, and it's all simply about finding high search volume, low competition keywords. And you can do that by using this matrix here. So at the top, we have average page rank, and on the left, number of monthly searches. And you can run your keywords through this matrix and just see where they fall. And this matrix is an assessment of competition and keyword demand or search volume. So you can see that most keywords fall into the poor category. You don't want to target these. You don't even really want to target the fair ones. I mean, those are like last resort if you run out of the others. But the best ones are good, excellent, and jackpot. And you can see that we're using average PR again, but we're doing it at the keyword level, not the market level. So this makes sense, right? If a keyword has a very low average PR, but very high search volume, you can see how that affects its score in the matrix. So let's do an example. Let's go over to Google and go to the keyword tool, and we'll type in shed plans. No. Let's type in shed plans, and we'll run a keyword through this matrix, and we'll take a look at where it falls. So I'm just going to sort by global monthly searches, and let's take storage shed plans as an example. Now this is getting 14,800 searches per month globally, roughly. So that's what would go on the vertical here. That's number of searches. And now we want to find the average page rank. So we went through this earlier. You just take the keyword now, plug it into Google, refresh the page, and look at the average page rank that SEOquake brings back. And you can write these page ranks down on paper and crunch it with a calculator. There's actually a tool that will do it all for you that I'll talk about later. But for now, we'll just add this up in our head. And, with this 7 here, which is, usually if I see something that's just grossly out of place, I'll just chalk it up as being an outlier and just discard it from the data set. And then I'll do an average based on 9 results instead of 10. But so that's what I would recommend, is just tossing the 7 out. And then tossing out the lowest scored one, too, so tossing out the 0. That would probably make it more accurate. But anyway, so let's just kind of glance at this, and if we take an average of them, just based on just kind of a mental snapshot, is probably, if we toss out the outliers, about a 2. So if you go back and look here, it falls about here. It had about a 2 average page rank. It had 14,800 searches per month. So you can see it's an excellent keyword. Now this doesn't happen every time, and this was a pre-planned example. So I knew that it was a good keyword, but shed plans is a great market. So you'll find a lot of good keywords in the shed plans market, but as you can see, most keywords are poor. So the whole point is to go out and gather lots and lots of keywords, run them all through this matrix, and then most of them will be eliminated, but you've cleared the clutter out. You've eliminated the chance that you're going to be wasting any time, and maybe you'll end up with a set now of like 50 to 100 really good keywords, and then you start building your articles on those keywords. So here's again the same exact competition scoring system for what you can expect to see in terms of how fast your articles are going to rank. Okay, so we already went through the tools required. So now you can see how we've systematized keyword research. And so now you can move to step 3, which is creating your site. So see how we're kind of going up the staircase in a very methodical way. We're not throwing stuff together based on theory. It's a lot more specific. So now when it comes to creating your site, you're building on the right foundation. And so here's what you want to do. You want to start your site out with maybe 5 to 7 articles. Each article to be based on one of your money words. So you have your list of money words. You've ran your list through the matrix. You've come up with your set of money words. These are words that are either excellent, good, or jackpot. And then you take the best 5 to 7. So hopefully they'll all be jackpots. But anyway, you take your best and you write articles about them to get things kicked off. Now, you're probably going to want to add more articles to your site later down the line, because the more articles you add, the more keywords you can target, and the more traffic you're going to get. But just start out with 5 to 7. And so get those articles created. You can write them yourself. You can outsource it. This is the part where a lot of people say, oh, I have to actually put in work to write articles. That sucks. I don't want to do this. Well, it's just kind of like, well, do you want to have a site that's going to be making money for you every day and only have to do this work once? So you got to ask yourself that question. And, hopefully the answer is yes, because it's really not that much work. Especially once you get a site or 2 under your belt, you can outsource this to other people to write the articles for you. So, you write your 5 to 7 articles, and then you create your opt-in page. So again, this is my opt-in page, which is right here. So your opt-in page is what's going to be your home page, and you want to create a page that looks a lot like this for whatever your market is. So you can model this page if you want. You want to have a headline, you want to have an intro paragraph, and then you want an invitation to your mini course, and then an opt-in box. Testimonials you're not going to have right off the bat, and that's okay. You don't need them right off the bat. They'll help later on to get more opt-ins, but you don't need them. So you'll basically just have those 3 things: headline, maybe a picture if you want it, an intro paragraph, and an invitation to join your mini course. And then you'll need your conversion mechanisms. We already kind of covered those. A conversion mechanism is where you're trying to get somebody to take an action on your site. So you're converting them from traffic into list subscribers. You're doing that right here. So that's pretty much it. You just need your opt-in page and your articles set up. And you need to have your mini course going in the back after people opt in. I'll talk about the mini course more later. But creating the site actually is kind of the easy part. You have